Taking on a board role is a significant step. It's really personally rewarding being on a board, but also there's significant personal liabilities that attach to being a director. So before signing that consent to act to be a director, you'll want to undertake a careful due diligence. Failing to do that, going onto a board and finding out there's a problem can leave you exposed both financially and reputationally. So what should you do as part of a due diligence? Well, there's no perfect answer because due diligence is always going to depend on the nature of the company and your background and experience. But I think it's useful to look at due diligence in 3 different perspectives. So the first one is purpose. Are you truly interested in the purpose or the objects of the company? Are you aligned with the values of the company? And can you see the strategic direction of the company and see yourself being aligned to be able to achieve that strategic direction? They're all really important questions to reflect on personally. Part of that reflection should also include, can you see how you're going to add value? And do you have the time to be able to commit to the role as you understand it at the outset? The second aspect is people. Who are you going to be working with? And this is really important because you need to have a high level of trust between you and your peer directors and also with the management team. So who are the people that you will also share the boardroom table with, both in terms of your fellow directors, but also the CEO and the executive management team? What's the leadership style of the chair? Do you feel that you can work with that style? Make some inquiries about the board dynamic. How does the board itself operate? And what's the relationship between the board on one hand and management on the other? The third aspect to look at is the company itself. Now, as we know, there's lots of personal liability that attaches to directors, and as much as possible, you want to make sure that you're covering off where those liabilities might be before taking on a board role. Directors are always going to be concerned about the financial status of a company, and that's partly because of the significant personal liabilities that attach to insolvent trading. So looking at financial statements, understanding those financials, maybe speaking to the external auditor is a step that often new directors will undertake. What are some other aspects though? Well, I think it's important to try to understand the operations of the company. What's the company's workplace health and safety record, as well as its operational performance? What's the risk and compliance management framework like? And then what are some of the strategic risks that the company's got? Have some of those manifested itself? What are the compliance obligations? Is the company generally compliant? Are there legal actions against the company or potential legal actions? Are there other areas in which the company might have exposure? For example, have you got confidence from your inquiries that all of the tax payments of the company are up to date? They're just some common areas. As I said, you'll need to think more specifically about the particular company on whose board you're joining to understand in more detail what you need to look at. Ideally though, the company should offer you a confidentiality agreement so that they can be really open with you in terms of those inquiries. And how the company engages with you says a lot about the board and the company, but don't forget how you engage with them also says a lot about you and how attractive you are as a director on their board.